Hey man, say man. Safe to say Minnesota Lynx are on the prowl for revenge. I'm keeping that in there.
I'm not mad at it. I was more confused by the A
After
main, say main.
okay, but coming off of coming up short in last year's finals after a controversial game five.
After getting bamboozled, after getting cheated, getting hoaxed. Let's just be honest.
Keep it a buck. Keep it a buck 50. You
They got cheated.
want to talk
They
about it?
got,
You can talk about it.
they got hoed.
Go ahead. Rock out. ISO.
Did Stewie travel?
You put me on the stand for something I don't remember off top.
Did Stewie travel?
I mean, debatably.
Debatably. She caught the ball and full on Curry shuffled her feet. She's out
Let's
there
see.
doing the
Let's see.
electric slide before she dribbled the ball.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
And that ain't even the only thing they did. They went and called a foul when Fee blocked the shot, clean as a whistle. So y'all cheating twice at one play. That game would have been over with. Over with. The Lynx would be defending champions right now. Far different outlook
Yeah.
coming into the season.
Far different outlook on the season. And that's why I got them back up here at the top, ready to compete for another championship because they are out for revenge. Fee is out for revenge. Fee look great in on right, but I know she co CEO, co founder, all that, but she was getting to it, getting to the business. You know what I'm saying? Fantastic, spectacular, miraculous, fabulous.
No Sharpay.
But well, I was saying FAP. Let me stop. But team didn't really see a lot of change in the off season. They kept their core for the most part. So definitely looking forward to seeing who they keep for. Let me keep on the final roster. Uh, what's your outlook on this team? Because I mean, team is great. They had a lot of good role player production last season. Uh, Fee MVP candidate last year, defensive player of the year last year, and a couple calls go their way. Yeah, they're defending champs,
A couple calls go the correct way.
which would be their way.
No, the correct way. You didn't got go their way makes it seem like it's in favor of them. No, it's just correct. It's just the right call.
Well, if all right, so if I foul you, that's a call going correct your way, right?
No, it's going the correct way because you
Even though
fouled.
it, but it's going your way.
No.
Yes, you try to play semantics. You're not doing that with me.
Anyways, while I give my spiel, go look at that play again and tell me whether or not she traveled. Um,
Go ahead, go on your spiel. I'll be looking.
they re-signed Letitia Heidemann. They signed Grace Berger, Kiara Leslie, Cameron Taylor, Kristen Williams, Marion Badiane. They traded the number 11 pick to the Sky for a 2026 first round pick, which they ended up trading for Carly Samuelson. They drafted Anastasia O'Leary Kasu, Delia Daniels, and Aubrey Griffin. Um, then they signed Asia Petty, Reagan Richardson, Jess Shepard, Diamond Johnson. Um, it was today or yesterday they released Leslie William, Kiara Leslie, Kristen Williams, Delia Daniels, Asia Petty, um, Cameron Taylor, and Diamond uh, Johnson. For me, my outlook would be how motivated are they to get back to the finals and to get back in that spot after the way that they lost last year um, in a game five, literally seconds away from being champions multiple times, um, and feeling like they did everything that they possibly could, and the things just didn't fall the right way. Um, can they still be a top contender? You mentioned that they didn't really make a ton of moves. They felt really confident in the team that they had, getting back to this spot, which I don't see a huge issue with that. They did add Carly Samuelson, who I think is a really good piece,
Very
um,
good piece.
who can play a lot of different roles, can shoot the ball really well. Um, I think if Grace Berger makes the team or like stays on the roster, I think that could be a piece that could help them. If not now, then in the future. Um, can this could this be the Fee MVP year? She's been on the up and up every single year. In the last couple of years, she's looked like one of the absolute best players in the league. Um, is there a Diamond Miller breakout on the way? Um, Her first year, she was up and down. Last year, she didn't get to play a ton. She had an injury. And then the team was playing so well that she couldn't really find minutes consistently at least. Can Kayla McBride, Alana Smith, and Bridget Carlton continue on the career years that they had last year? Alana Smith had by far the best year of her career. I think she was all defensive second team last year. Um,
What was she
Bridget
traveling?
Carlton shot it. Yeah, clear as day
No, I
travel.
said where? No, like what
What?
part of the game?
Oh, it's literally like the last possession.
The last possession.
Yeah, going. I want to say it's in regulation.
Oh, in regulation. Okay, because they showed the overtime. Well, this video I'm watching is a full overtime.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was in regulation. That got them
15.
to the free throw line. Or whatever. Um, Bridget Carlson shot an amazing percentage from the 3 point last year. Kayla McBride had another career year where she was an All Star again.
Shooter.
Courtney Williams played great at the point guard spot. Um,
Killer.
they signed Jess Shepard, who hadn't played in a couple of years in the W, due to playing overseas. She's a really good player when she is here. I don't know if she makes the final roster, but if she does, she could help them as well, especially with some size down there with Dorka,
Wait, was she not on the
Atlanta
team
Smith,
last year?
just Jess Shepard.
Yeah.
She was on the roster, but she didn't play with them. She was overseas. She had
Wait,
like
who am I thinking
prioritization rules.
about
I want
then?
to say. I'm not
Somebody
sure.
else said that gave them good production last year, like great production
Dorka?
last year. No, not Dorka. I thought it was Just.
No, just Shepard didn't play for them last year. Trying to think who it could be. Um, Let me see. I'll look real fast. Uh,
It was Bridget Carlson. That's who it was. That's what I'm thinking about.
well, Jess Shepard is a center,
I don't know. I don't know.
and I even talked
I,
about Bridget Carlson.
yeah, I know.
You got me tweaking, thinking I'm bugging. Um,
It's because
but
I'm
yeah,
trying to watch this last part of the game. That's why.
yeah. But those role players are the ones that are really gonna be what makes or breaks the Lynx getting back to where they were last year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Also curious to see what Alyssa Pilly's role could possibly look like. Again, they have good
Yes.
post play. Like I expect Atlanta Smith to start again. Obviously, Fee is going to start. Bridget Carlton will start. It should be the same five when Kayla McBride does, um, come back to the team. She's not with the team currently, more of like a personal, but I feel like most people are saying it's more like a rest thing because she played
And
her
they
rival
flamed. They
then
ain't show it.
overseas. Um, just look up Brianna Stewart. Drown. You just don't want to give me
I'm
that
too
that
I'm too
satisfaction.
disassociated. I'm too disassociated from the preview. I gotta get back to my
Um,
job.
all right. Well, they have good post players in Atlanta Smith, Dorka. Um, they have forwards already. Alyssa Philly can play multiple different roles. I feel like. I just am curious to see if Cheryl Reeves feels like she's ready yet. Cheryl Reeves isn't quite like Becky Hammond. She does play her bench, but she's not a huge player of young players. So we'll see how that goes for them. Their strengths to me would be obviously Nafisa Collier, their chemistry and camaraderie because this team has been together for a few years now. Shooting,
Oh
which is they're one
yes,
of the best shooting teams. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then the block right after that, clean as a
that
whistle,
was
bro.
super crazy.
Suit like, bro. And you tried to tell me that they can't let that be the reason that they lose.
I think try to argue because they had an overtime that they still should have won in overtime.
Yeah, but you said you can't let the refs affect the game, and that literally affects the game. Both of those
It does.
calls affect the game.
And what we talked about earlier, I can admit when I'm wrong, and I can.
A year later, finally, you had me on
Yeah,
here crashing out.
I did.
People, I've talked to people and they're like, "Yeah, I remember how you was during the episode. Like
I
you was really
remember.
mad."
I remember the reception. Yeah,
Anyways, strengths, Fee, chemistry and camaraderie. They've been together for a couple years. Shooting,
defense.
they were one of the best shooting teams in the league last year. Defense, they were number one defense for most of last year. And then their experience together. I think them going through what they went through last year can either hurt or help them. I think it'll help them. But it could be one of those times where like you get there and that heartbreak is so it's so tough to come back from that you may not be able to get back there. I'm hoping
Yeah.
it's the opposite, but sometimes that does happen. And their weaknesses is they didn't make many moves when others did, like New York adding Natasha Cloud or bringing back Maureen Johannes.
Yes,
The
sir.
Fever brought in Joanna Bonner and Natasha Howard, some depth around them. The Phoenix overhauled their roster. Seattle made some changes to their roster. So all these other teams made changes. The Lynx didn't. Not saying that that's a bad thing or a good thing. That's just I wouldn't consider it a strength, and we haven't seen yet if those players are going to be able to play like they did last year. I'm willing to bet that they are, but we have to see them do that. And then the second one with can the career years happen again for the players like Alana Smith and Bridget Carlson? Like they don't need to have career years again. They just need to be as good as they were last year. And I've been high on Alana Smith for a couple years, so I expect nothing less. And then for
President of the Atlanta Smith
um,
fan club.
for Bridget Carlson, I expect her to still shoot the ball really well. She gets better every year. Um, she's played overseas and done really well over there. So um, I expect them to do really well. I expect them to be one of the top three teams again, and they're always fun to watch. I love watching them play basketball. They move the ball well. They play good basketball. They defend at a high level. They get up and down. They shoot the ball well. So Um, really, anything you could ask for in a player or in a team that you want to contend and you want to see play, it's them. So, um, yeah, that's my outlook for them.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like they were right there, and I feel like at times they were the better team during that final series. Just more battle tested, more ready. They had more hunger. Just I don't know, like officiating was controversial throughout that series. Like I remember both coaches calling out the officiating.
Mhm.
Officiating sucks. All right, let's get that out the way.
No, you're not allowed to say that anymore.
I'm allowed to say what I want to say because I
No,
say what I
you're
want to
not.
say.
No, you're not. No, you're not. We had this
I've had a
conversation. We had this
long-standing beef
conversation on.
since the
No,
age
no.
of 5.
And I told you that when you told me that you can't allow the refs to affect the game. You can't allow the refs to be the reason that you don't win a game.
Ultimately, I
You
don't,
said
but I
that.
still got beef with
No,
refs.
you said that. And then I
Ultimately,
said,
I
all
do, but I
right,
still got
then
beef
you
with
can't
refs.
talk bad about refs ever again. And you was like,
I could talk. I
okay,
could talk bad
okay.
about whoever I want to talk bad
Nope,
about.
nope, nope,
I'm talking
nope,
bad about
nope,
refs.
nope. We're not hearing that.
Yes,
We're not
yes,
hearing that.
yes, yes.
Nope, nope, we're not
Listen,
going.
just because I got beef about refs doesn't mean I can. I gotta start talking bad about them because I got beef with them.
No, but you can't turn around and be partial one way and say after like you just said for 21 years you've had an issue with the refs being bad and then when they miss two calls in the same play that leads to a team losing a championship game you say you can't allow the refs to affect that. You can't. No.
My whole stance back then was take care of business in overtime. That
and
was my
my
stance back then.
and my thing
That's my stance
was
back then.
if you felt like you got a championship snatched from you by the refs, are you going to be able to mentally turn around and play that game the way that you were before? No.
I
because you
mean, I'm not a
literally can
WNBA
feel
player,
you
so I
can
can't
feel the
answer that
championship in
question
your
fairly.
hands, and it got snatched from you. It got she had missed free throws, and then came down, traveled. They don't call it, and then Fee meets her at the summit, all ball block, and that's not even the worst part. Then they challenged it. They saw it. Everyone said that's not a foul, and they still said it's a foul. They gave her a second chance to go knock down two free throws because she missed them before that. That's not them not coming to play. They were the better team. Simple as that. They were the team that should have won the championship last year. They were the
They
better
had it
team
in the
all
whole
season
season.
long, and they were the
They
better
had it
team
remember.
in that series. I wouldn't have been able to go back out and play after that 5 minutes because I'd have crashed out.
Me on the other hand, I would have been more motivated to play and make sure. I mean, for real, and make sure I do what I got to do to get championship now. Oh, word. You want to do this? You want to give them a chance? Bet. Give them a chance. Give them a chance to freaking lose. Anyways, back to this Minnesota Lynx team. This team has what it takes to get back to where they were last year. I think we see Fee be more dominant than she was last year. Um, really like how. Let's see. How can I put this? I like Courtney Williams' game a lot. She had different points in last season. She showed up big in the playoffs last year. Showed up big in the finals last year too. Experienced veteran player. Definitely someone that they need. Excited for. Always excited to see Kayla McBride on the court. One of my favorite players. One of the best shooters in the league. Tariq
Since
shut up,
when, bro? Since when, bro? Since when?
bro. I've always respected Kayla McBride.
No, there's a difference between respected and one of my favorite players. When is
All
Caleb
right,
Bryant ever
you're right.
one of
You're
your
right. You're right.
favorite
You're
players?
right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I've always respected Kayla McBride. Okay,
You can
we
say I've
call it
always
being
been a
respected all
fan
his
of.
life.
There's a difference between being a fan of and one of my favorite players, I feel like.
Not really.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Jaden McDaniels. He's not one of my favorite players, though.
Okay, cool, cool.
See
So
what I'm
like,
saying?
I'm a fan of. Let's see, who am I a fan of? I'm a fan of Kayla McBride, but Asia Wilson is one of my favorite players. I'll try to
Yeah.
use a different example where I got kind of stumped. I was trying to think of an NBA example like you use just now, but you said what?
4, 8, 9. I told you, bruh. I'm telling you. But
There you
my
go.
bad. Continue.
Nah. Anyways, man, I'll look for this team. I think they'll be dominant for a good part of the season. Especially with having Dorka and Diamond in year three. They were impressive their rookie season. They built off that last season. No Diamond dealt with a couple of injuries, but then I feel like this season they'll be a big piece, big part, and they'll strengthen the depth that this team has. Even already, they already have good, a good amount of strength, a good amount of depth, strength. Yeah, but Cheryl Reed, one of the best coaches in the league, one of the best coaches of all time. In terms of W talk, in terms of basketball talk,
Yeah.
but definitely excited to see how they compete and compare to their peers being the Las Vegas Aces and the New York Liberty. Those are only two teams I see that's in their company at the moment. And I mean, you can arguably say they're top of that, you know? But at the same time, as we mentioned, the Liberty made some changes this offseason. The Aces made some changes their offseason. So ultimately, we have to see how this all plays out. But
Yeah.
I do think they have a great chance at getting back to the finals and winning the finals this year. That chance to win the finals last year. I think. I think in terms of, I guess just the turnaround was just so quick with this team because it was a point a couple seasons ago where we thought they were rebuilding and they made the playoffs,
Yeah.
and then last season they kind of sped up their rebuild and ultimately won the whatchamacallit, won the Commissioner's Cup, got to the finals, lost in Game 5, and yeah, but I think they'll be right back in the finals, depending on who they match up against. But yeah, other than that, though, man, I'm just looking forward to a big season from Fee. Looking forward to a big season from Kayla McBride as well, Lana Smith, like that court, and Courtney Williams. That core right there is tough, tough,
I would add
underrated.
Bridget Carlton to that too.
Yes, Bridget Culture as
The way
well.
she played last year.
They're disrespectfully underrated is where I would, in the sense of talking about the Minnesota Lynx. They don't get talked about enough. I don't think.
Definitely not.
They
Because they play
play
a certain
great
brand of
basketball.
basketball. That's not like super. It's not flashy, but it's entertaining because they play basketball the
Yeah,
right way.
yeah, and it's like they don't have the household names either. You know,
Yeah.
like
So,
I
I
think
mean, as
people are
good as
starting to
Fee is,
learn who
she's
these
still
players are.
underrated in terms of marketability.
Yeah,
Because I don't know if you
I
saw it, but
think
there's
last
four Funko
finals.
Pops out. It's
Yeah,
Asia, Stewie, Caitlin, and
Asia
Angel
Stu,
Reese.
Caitlin, and injuries, and they don't got the
Where's
leg
Fee?
sleeve for Asia.
Where's Fee?
They ain't put the leg sleeve for Asia, dog. That's
Where
crazy.
is Fee?
They forgot Asia's
Second to
leg sleeve. You think they
MVP,
gonna put Fee?
first to Defensive Player of the Year. No
Yeah.
Fee. All right.
Listen, they
We
forgot
just got to show
Asia's
him
leg
again.
sleeve.
We just got to show
You
him
think
again.
they going they forgot Asia's leg sleeve. You think they gonna add Fee to the mix?
Yeah.
I mean, it should. I mean, this is just the first round of Funko Pops. They about to
I
pop
don't
out
care.
with.
I don't care.
Second round will probably be Fee, Paige, Cam. What? I
You
said
just
Fee.
skipped over a lot of players, man.
Sabrina.
I mean, yeah, but you got Ron, yeah,
Ron
Enrique,
is another one. Enrique is another one. Yeah. But I'm just thinking in terms of
Jewel,
like,
Jackie, Chelsea,
yeah. I'm thinking of based on popularity.
KP,
I mean, all deserving of Funko Pops, obviously.
Jonquel, Alyssa
Yeah.
Thomas,
Finals MVP, yeah.
Satu,
Shot too, yeah. BG,
BG,
Skyler,
Alicia Gray, Skylar Diggins, NECA, Gabby. Now let me chill.
Gabby can have one. She had a good performance in the Olympics last year.
That's why they're not gonna give her one because she must beat America. Now let me chill. But yeah, I think it's another year where the Lynx are gonna prove a lot of people wrong. Last year they proved us wrong. Not in a way of like we
Yeah,
didn't think they were gonna be good. We just figured they would be in the 5 to 7 range in terms of standings. They ended up being
yeah.
number two, like we both said, won the Commissioner's Cup going away, like dominated Commissioner's Cup. Um,
On the
and then
road, yeah.
dominated the rest of that season. Dominated most of the playoffs. I think they had a bit of a tough matchup with the Sun, but came out of that. And I think they were the better team throughout that series. And then again against the Liberty, not to take anything away from the Liberty because they were a great team as well. But
Yeah.
that game 5, they definitely they definitely got the short end of the stick. Um, and that's the reason that they're not champions today.
Man, man. But hey, if ands or buts about how we gonna cover the Minnesota Lynx this upcoming WNBA season. So be sure to tune in here on Multiplicity Media YouTube channel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more.
Subscribe. Appreciate y'all.
Subscribe.